Meet the most extreme fan I have ever seen. This is the Gelid Gale Extreme, a fan so extreme it comes with a freaking cage attached to it. And yes, you do not want to play around with it. That cage is not to protect the fan, it is to protect your fingers, because that thing will eat through them like a freaking meat grinder. Why? Because it's a 120mm form factor fan that is 38mm thick. Take that T30 and it is spinning at a whopping 6000 RPM, and while doing that it is pushing at 24mm of H2O of static pressure and pushing up to 195 CFM. What the actual f***? But before we look closer at why on God's earth Gelid built this thing, let's see how it performed in our benchmarks. Allowing it to go all in on our hybrid case almost heatsink benchmark revealed that it is indeed extreme. So extreme that the only fan still beating it is an array of 21 individual 40mm 15,000 RPM fans. So yeah, it is extreme. 32.1 degrees C above ambient. Extreme. Even the Noctua Industrial A14 looked like a budget fan next to it. But that level of performance has to come at the cost of noise. And to sum up the noise part, it's different. Thousand RPM is just, it just sounds different. On the noise to performance graph, we can see how this absolute madness plays out. Here we have all of our crazy fast spinning 120mm fans, including a P12 and A12X25 for reference. And to my very surprise, the Gelid Gale Extreme does not end up in a particularly bad spot. Given that it's almost double the speed of the fastest fan we had before, it was kinda foreseeable that it begins at the loudest point. However, despite being built with nothing but performance in mind, it actually blends in quite perfectly with the other ones once we push down the speed. At the lowest point, which is 25% of its max speed, it actually beat the AlphaCool Core 124,000, which is kinda great. It's still unbearably loud, believe me, and it moves if I don't hold it tight. But it does go down a significant amount. At this point, I also want to point out that I believe we reached the outer border of what our benchmark machine potentially can do. Just like for AIOs or regular CPU coolers, if you have a constant temperature, even if you reduce the fan speed, well then your heatsink or radiator is just maxed out one way or another, or you don't produce enough heat for it to deliver it accurately so that the fan can remove it later on. Anyway, this here is a straight line going from 100% to 90%. Nothing changed. It did push down the noise by a lot, but absolutely zero on the temperature. So this means that everything behind this point is essentially squished together and pretty much a unreliable reading. Funny that a single 120mm fan was capable of reaching that point. But back to the fan. This thing is a monster. Coming in a weird ass box, all black, all extreme, no distracting design stuff, just stats and for some reason a picture of Earth with a ton of clouds, which for some it gives me the chills. It looks weird. Inside there is nothing more than the fan itself and a bag of screws. As mentioned before, the numbers behind this thing are insane. Up to 6000 RPM, 38mm thickness, one thick boy, 24mm of H2O and 195 CFM, something that the benchmark results truly reflect. But that level of power doesn't come without drawbacks. Like the connection. This thing is PVM and the cable is about 50 centimeters long, which on the surface sounds like a pretty much standard thing. However, it draws 2.8 amps, 2.8. And just to let you know, your fan header on your motherboard does not have enough juice to power even one of them. I tried, and what happened is that the fan goes into a loop of starting to spin, like woo, and then it never fully reaches the point where it should be, even at 25%, and then it becomes slower, and then it just tries again, and you get into like it sounds really weird, a bit funny, but yeah, my motherboard did not do it well. Now, how I needed to run all three of them for the benchmarks is through one of the new Arctic fan controllers they have sent once I burned the old one in the 21 mini Arctic fan video. To make it sound even more impressive, based on the fan specs, one of them is capable of pushing 33.6 watts, which would mean that my little Arctic fan controller survived pushing 100.8 watts of pure fan pleasure. Congratulations on that one, Arctic. That was a nice job. But back to the fan. Yes, there is a grill in front of the fan, but it's not there forever. You can absolutely remove it, and so did I, because the way I install the fans for the testing requires me to do so, because they are like front mounted. But beware, because that thing will break your finger. Do not run it without that grill or installed within the cage and far away from you. It will kill whatever goes in there. Behind that grill we will also find the 7-wing design, which looks kinda odd because the central fan part has to be so enormous in order to house that 6000 RPM power. And this then leads us to the next kinda drawback of this level of power, dual ball bearing. Despite the world moving towards fluid dynamic bearings, once you go above a certain number of RPM, it's very, very uncommon to find anything else than dual ball. The other one just can't handle that level of speed, so it's normal. Above 3000, I have not seen a single fan with fluid. Coming to the news section, things manufacturers are saying about their products. Let's read the description. Gale Extreme introduces a perfect combination of top-notch technologies and ultimate performance, with a double ball bearing system and an optimized impeller. Yeah, optimized, I really wouldn't say that, but the Gale Extreme provides better reliability and airflow. Also, there is a pre-installed fan grill for projection. The impressive specs and sturdy construction make the Gale Extreme a worthy companion for gaming PC rigs. Give it a try and the results will prove it. Jokes aside, this is pretty accurate. Some parts of it. Give it a try and the results will prove it. And goddamn they did. Except for the gaming part. As a gamer, you do not want to have this fan. So for who is this actually? Because no, it's not for gamers. It's for mining rigs and something like 4U servers that can house a full 120mm fan. I do not see a single use case for a regular user. Don't get me wrong, this is an amazing fan. It's horrifying, but even at its lowest setting, it is comparable to what would happen if you push a Noctua NF-A14 Industrial to the limits. So no, this is not to be installed somewhere even near you. It should be very, very far away from you. On the other hand, if you have something like a PC kind of server room, you know, external PC, and then you just run wires and I don't know what technology to display your display, this thing would be great. It's an amazing fan and it's one of the strongest I have seen until now. For that kind of use case, it's great, otherwise it's just a weapon. And also price-wise, cause yes, it's actually kinda budget-friendly. On their own website, Gelid is selling those for 24 US pesos, which is less than a Noctua Industrial A14. So if you're about to build a 4U server, or if you're about to disappoint your mother by building a mining rig, it actually makes more sense to go with one of those and limit it down to 25% than to get a Noctua Industrial. Plus, you will be left with $5 per fan, which is great. So, price to performance, it's kind of great. Oh, and before I forget it, build quality. It is 38mm. It's a brick. Like, good luck breaking it. That won't happen. But okay, this should be it for Gelid in their their Gale Extreme fan. At this point, a huge thank you to them for sending it over. And if you're looking to see how it performs on top of a radiator, yeah, I will be doing that. It just takes a bit of time, but this one is included. On a side note, we also have a Discord server, so if you want to join, the link is down below. And of course, we still have channel membership, so if you're looking for a good way to sell your soul for an RG poop emoji, that's a pretty good way to go. Additionally, you can rest assured that the income will not only keep the channel afloat, but it will also serve to get a HDMI to PVM adapter, because apparently this fan is for projection and I want to find out what it can do. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to continue, have a look at our take on the P12 Max. This is one of the most insane fans, not quite as insane as this one, more like normal insane, regular insane. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.